Where's my water? Hang on. I need some ice. I was watching an Amberlynn Reed video. It was from Salty Crab talking. It was kind of an old video from like a couple weeks ago, and it was talking about Amberlynn Reed's vegan phase. Holy crap. I don't know if you know this. This is a part of my lore. You want to hear some Ari lore? I have been vegetarian since 2008. Since I've been 23 and I'm 39 now. The only time that I stopped being vegetarian was back in when I came home from Seattle, which was 2019 to about 2020. I would eat chicken every so often, like fried chicken. Like my family would go out to like, Wendy's or like McDonald's, and I would get like chicken nuggets or like fried, or Popeyes, and I would get like a sandwich. Like every so often when we'd go out to eat, I would get like a chicken sandwich or chicken tenders or like a spicy chicken sandwich. And I was eating meat for a while there, and I felt it would hit me so bad. Like I would get so sick and I felt so disgusting, because I had not eaten meat for years and years and years. So it would just like make me feel like horrible. And I knew it was because, I had just been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And so I was heavily medicated. So I wasn't like thinking clearly about like what I was eating or like where my head was at. So, I ate meat for a little while there. But I was like, I need to really stop this. But I quit eating chicken, and then I went the other way, and I went for a whole year. I went vegan. And I made Moby proud. But now I've kind of like gone back to center, and I eat mostly vegan. I'm at home. I cook vegan, and I buy all vegan products. But when I go out to eat, I eat vegetarian. If I can get the vegan option, I always get the vegan option. But most restaurants in my area are not vegan friendly, so I have to get the vegetarian option. So I eat mostly vegan, if not vegetarian. But I really like pizza, and that's the problem. Is I like pizza, so I get the vegetarian option. But if there was a vegan option, if these pizza places had the vegan option, I would get the vegan option. No cap, and I would do that. I know it's coming. If I can get vegan pizza, I will definitely get vegan pizza. Domino's, Little Caesars, give me that vegan option. What are we cooking for dinner? Let's do this. Do I want to make a pasta? I can get some rice. Sorry, I'm figuring out what I want to cook for dinner. A great meal starts with a bunch of veggies. I could do mac and cheese. Where are my Brussels sprouts? Yeah, let's do that. Sounds good. That's the basis for any good meal, is a lot of veggies. At least in my opinion. Okay. Okay, we are washing veggies. All right, we're turning that on to boil. We're washing veggies. Saturday night and I feel alright. Oh, I gotta get one of these for leftover. Because I'm not gonna chop all these veggies because I'm a single person. We gotta get a bowl for cuttings. Okay, here we go. Ooh. Let me close some cabinet doors, because that probably annoys the crap out of people. All right. So we got our into the bowl. This goes into the box because I've got leftovers, so I'm only using half. Then chop, 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 chop into the pan. Into the pan. Swash. Cutting some in there, into that, into the bowl for the chop. That way I'm not running to the trash every 5 minutes. I'm just centralized at the cutting board. Just throwing things into my pan. Moving right along. Throwing that into the pan. I got some mushrooms. Look how fast I'm moving along through my vegetables cutting. I'm already through my squashes. I'm getting onto my tomatoes. I like to cut my cherry tomatoes in half because they cook better. Because the whole point of food is that you want to make it bite-sized. You don't want big pieces of things that you have to cut down. So I like to make things smaller. Those cherry tomatoes are nice, but I like to make them a little bit smaller. So I like to cut them up because these cherry tomatoes are so big. So when they cook, sometimes it's nice to leave them, especially like, but when you're making like, you know, cooking them, they cook more thoroughly when you cut them in half, in my opinion. They're just so big. So I find when I cut them in half, they cook better. And they shrivel nicely. Okay. Got my fridge here. Putting that in the fridge. How much bell pepper do I want to use? That's good for red. Use that size. Use those two. I used a bell pepper the other day for tofu scramble. So okay, so only thing left to do is we're gonna save that strainer for the macaroni. And we got our Brussels sprouts. I kind of get nervous around Brussels sprouts. I want to make sure I cut it properly. I need to get a knife sharpener. This knife is a little dull. Okay. It's already starting to boil. Okay, that's good. Alright. So we'll throw our cuttings away. I'm going to reuse the bowl for my macaroni. Oil. I like to use just a cap full. Kind of limit how much oil I use for that. And then 15 minutes. Look at us. We're already at 15 minutes. So, when you cook your veggies, you want to put a little bit of, although the macaroni has a lot of salt in it because it's processed food, you do want to cook your veggies in a little bit of salt. But you don't want to use too much because otherwise it's going to be a highly palatable food. So you just want a little tiny, maybe a little bit more. So you just want to put some salt on there, because it'll bring out the flavor of the food. But if you use too much, it's going to make it highly palatable, which it'll taste good. It'll taste good as a food. But the problem is that when it becomes highly palatable, it puts it in a range where you mess with it becomes unhealthy. So you have to limit your salt. Which technically this is already highly palatable, because the amount of salt in this is, in a whole box, is like ridiculous. I try not to look at it too much. But it's very salty. It's very salty. All right. So you just boil the macaroni, and I'm going to throw some tofu in here too. And voila. We've got dinner.